Oslen Twins had fame, fortune, and a global empire. But at what cost? Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen weren't just child stars. They were a cultural phenomenon, dominating Hollywood before they even knew what fame truly meant. From the moment they appeared on Full House, the world couldn't get enough of them. And before they even turned 18, they had built an empire. Hit movies, best-selling books, and fashion brands worth billions. On the surface, they had it all. But behind the designer clothes and red carpet smiles was a reality far more painful than anyone knew. And then, without a word, the Olsen twins were gone. No more movies, no interviews, no public appearances. They walked away from Hollywood, leaving fans wondering why. And the real reason behind their disappearance? It's more heartbreaking than you can imagine. Stay with us as we reveal the shocking truth behind the Olsen twins' sudden exit from the spotlight. Early stardom and instant fame. Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen were born on June 13, 1986, in Sherman Oaks, California. Unlike most children, their introduction to the world was not just within the walls of their home, it was on millions of television screens across America. The twins' journey into stardom began before they could even walk or talk, and their names would soon become synonymous with success, fame, and an overwhelming media frenzy. At just 6 months old, Mary-Kate and Ashley landed the role of Michelle Tanner on the hit sitcom Full House. Because of strict child labor laws, producers needed a set of twins to share the role, allowing them to work within legal time limits. The Olsen twins, with their adorable faces and natural charisma, were the perfect fit. Michelle Tanner quickly became a fan favorite. Whether it was her adorable catchphrases or mischievous antics, audiences fell in love with the youngest Tanner sister. The show's popularity skyrocketed, and with it, the Olsen twins became household names. But while the world adored their on-screen persona, few realized the immense pressure that came with it. Can you imagine being famous before you even knew what fame was? Before they could understand the concept of acting, Mary-Kate and Ashley were already working. Their childhoods were shaped by scripts, cameras, and long hours on set, instead of playgrounds and carefree afternoons. What seemed like a dream to many was, in reality, an exhausting lifestyle for two little girls. America's sweethearts and Hollywood's brand creation. As Full House became a cultural phenomenon, Mary-Kate and Ashley were no longer just child actors. They were a brand. Hollywood saw their potential beyond television, and soon their faces were everywhere. At just 6 years old, they starred in their first TV movie, To Grandmother's House We Go. This was the beginning of a franchise that would include films, books, dolls, clothing lines, and even video games. By the time Full House ended in 1995, the twins were already moguls in the making. Their company, Dual Star Entertainment, was launched when they were only 6 years old, making them two of the youngest producers in Hollywood history. Through Dual Star, they produced a string of successful direct-to-video movies, such as Passport to Paris, Winning London, and Our Lips Are Sealed. Each project cemented their status as tween icons, with legions of young fans eager to consume anything with the Olsen twins' name on it. Their reach extended far beyond television and film. Merchandising deals followed swiftly. Their faces were plastered on lunchboxes, makeup kits, and even their own Walmart fashion line. They weren't just actresses, they were an empire. By the early 2000s, their brand was worth an estimated $1 billion, making them among the wealthiest young stars in Hollywood. But beneath the surface of all the success, cracks were beginning to form. A childhood spent in the spotlight. While most children were going to school, playing outside, and experiencing a normal upbringing, Mary-Kate and Ashley were living under the intense scrutiny of the public eye. Their lives revolved around tight filming schedules, interviews, and constant travel. The industry's demand for more content featuring the twins meant that there was barely a moment to just be kids. The pressure to be perfect was overwhelming. Every smile, outfit, and move they made was monitored and analyzed. They had no choice but to grow up quickly, as they were expected to act like professionals in a world that wasn't designed for children. Their parents, particularly their father, played a large role in managing their careers. But as the brand grew, so did the demands. They had to be constantly marketable, constantly camera-ready, and constantly working. But was all this fame really worth it? While their fans saw them as bubbly and carefree, the reality was far from it. In later interviews, both Mary-Kate and Ashley would admit that their childhood was filled with relentless work and very little downtime. "We were little monkeys performing," Mary-Kate once said in an interview, hinting at the exhaustion that came with their young success. And this relentless schedule eventually took its toll. Unlike many other child stars, Mary-Kate and Ashley didn't transition into a typical teenage Hollywood career. Instead of chasing mainstream acting roles, they continued to expand their empire, but at a cost. The twins later described their younger years as being emotionally draining, feeling like they had to constantly deliver to keep their brand alive. By their mid-teens, the media scrutiny had reached a new level. Paparazzi followed their every move, dissecting their weight, fashion choices, and personal lives. Mary-Kate, in particular, became a frequent target, with tabloids speculating about eating disorders and personal struggles. Imagine being a teenager and having every aspect of your appearance and life analyzed by millions. How could they possibly live normal lives when their every decision was turned into a headline? One striking example of the Olsen twins facing harassment was in 2004 when Mary-Kate Olsen was relentlessly hounded by the media over her weight. Paparazzi followed her everywhere, capturing unflattering photos and fueling speculation about an eating disorder. The situation became so intense that tabloids ran constant headlines about her health, pushing intrusive narratives without any concern for her well-being. The pressure escalated to the point where Mary-Kate checked into treatment for an eating disorder that same year. Yet, even as she sought help, the media continued to invade her privacy, with photographers trying to capture images of her entering and leaving the facility. This kind of intense scrutiny and public dissection of their personal struggles made it nearly impossible for the twins to live normal lives, ultimately contributing to their decision to step away from Hollywood. The price of fame. Actually, becoming Hollywood's youngest millionaires should have been a dream come true, right? But for Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, fame came with a heavy price. Their names were on everything, from movies to lunchboxes. But the cost of their massive success was a childhood that barely felt like their own. Their story is one of unprecedented success, but also a cautionary tale about the toll of growing up under a microscope. The 1991 profile in The Washington Post highlighted this duality. While the article celebrated the twins' charm, it also bluntly noted their lack of significant acting talent, a backhanded compliment that underscored the relentless judgment they endured. The harsh spotlight often overlooked their humanity. At a time when most children are discovering who they are, Mary-Kate and Ashley were learning how to juggle corporate meetings, press tours, and relentless public appearances. Their mother's decision to send their photos to a casting agency may have seemed harmless at the time, but it ultimately thrust them into a world that few could navigate without personal cost. Living in a fishbowl, no privacy, no peace. Imagine growing up with cameras flashing in your face every time you stepped outside. That was the reality for Mary-Kate and Ashley. From the moment they became famous, their lives were no longer private. Paparazzi followed them everywhere, and the media treated their every move like breaking news. Even as young children, they were constantly scrutinized. Their outfits, hairstyles, and even their school choices were discussed as if they were public property. And things only got worse as they got older. The tabloids counted down to their 18th birthdays like it was some kind of event, an unsettling reminder of how little control they had over their own lives. Can you imagine living under that kind of pressure? Every mistake, every bad day, every moment of teenage rebellion was caught on camera and turned into gossip. There was no escape. How much can a person take before they start to break? The end of Full House and family struggles. The end of Full House and family struggles. In 1995, Full House came to an end, marking a major shift in Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's lives. For 8 years, they had been America's favorite twins, growing up in front of millions. But as the cameras stopped rolling, real-life struggles took center stage. That same year, their parents, David and Jarnette Olsen, finalized a messy and very public divorce. The split wasn't just painful, it was filled with drama that played out in the media. Their father had an affair, and soon after the divorce was settled, he quickly remarried a woman named Mackenzie. This sudden change only added to the emotional turmoil the twins were experiencing. Ashley took the divorce especially hard. She felt betrayed by her father's actions and wanted no part in his new life. As a result, she refused to attend his wedding, choosing to distance herself from the situation. Mary-Kate, on the other hand, decided to go. While she wasn't completely comfortable with her father's choices, she felt a sense of duty to be there. Their opposite reactions showed how differently they coped with the family drama. Despite their immense success, fame couldn't shield the twins from personal heartbreak. The divorce and its aftermath added a heavy emotional burden to their young lives, forcing them to grow up even faster. As they stepped into a new phase of their careers, they also had to navigate the painful reality of a fractured family. Despite the chaos in their family, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen tried to hold on to some sense of a normal childhood. It wasn't easy. While most kids their age were focused on school, friendships, and weekend sleepovers, the twins were juggling Hollywood careers that never slowed down. They attended Campbell Hall Episcopal School, a private institution in Los Angeles, where they tried to blend in with their classmates. But no matter how much they wanted to be regular students, their lives were anything but ordinary. School was important, but work always came first. If they had a big movie premiere, fashion event, or TV appearance, education had to take a back seat. While their classmates were making memories at prom, the twins were living a completely different reality, hosting Saturday Night Live and promoting their movie, New York Minute. Instead of high school parties, they were walking red carpets and giving interviews. Instead of worrying about final exams, they were managing their multi-million-dollar brand. Though they longed for a normal teenage experience, fame had its own set of rules. The world saw them as glamorous, successful young women, but behind the scenes, they had to sacrifice many childhood moments that others took for granted. Mary-Kate's hidden battle with anorexia. By the early 2000s, it was clear that something was wrong with Mary-Kate Olsen. She had always been naturally slim, but as time passed, she looked thinner and more fragile. The public noticed, the media speculated, and rumors spread like wildfire. Shortly after finishing high school, Mary-Kate's health took a serious turn. Her family grew increasingly worried as she lost more weight and became noticeably weaker. Eventually, an intervention was held, and she was admitted to a rehabilitation center for anorexia. It was a difficult but necessary step, one that may have saved her life. Instead of offering support, the media only made things worse. Tabloids picked apart her appearance, and reporters treated her condition like gossip. One of the most painful moments came during an interview with Oprah Winfrey. Instead of showing compassion, Oprah bluntly asked about the twins' weight, making Mary-Kate visibly uncomfortable. Even those who worked closely with her failed to recognize the warning signs. New York Minute director Denny Gordon and co-star Dr. Drew Pinsky later admitted they didn't fully understand what was happening at the time. Public scrutiny and false narratives. Well, Mary-Kate's extreme weight loss led to endless rumors. Instead of recognizing her struggles with anorexia, the media jumped to a different conclusion: drug use. Tabloids and gossip columns painted her as a reckless party girl, completely ignoring the real issue. The rumors took on a life of their own. Photos of Mary-Kate looking frail were plastered across magazines with cruel headlines. Paparazzi followed her everywhere, waiting to catch her in a bad moment. It didn't matter that she was battling a serious illness. People wanted a scandal, not the truth. In an attempt to take control of the narrative, the Olsen twins made fun of the rumors during a 2004 Saturday Night Live appearance. They acted like they didn't care, but deep down, the situation was far from funny. No joke could erase the pain of being misunderstood by the entire world. At just 17 years old, Mary-Kate had little say in her own treatment. Because she was still a minor, her parents had to make most of the decisions for her. The weight of public scrutiny, combined with a loss of personal control, made her struggle even harder. Instead of being seen as a young girl in need of help, she became a target for gossip, a victim of Hollywood's cruel obsession with image. College struggles at NYU. In 2004, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen enrolled at New York University, hoping for a fresh start away from Hollywood. Like any young adults, they wanted to experience college life, make new friends, and enjoy a sense of normalcy. But their fame made that nearly impossible. Even before classes started, the twins bought a $7.3 million penthouse near campus. It was meant to be their sanctuary, a place where they could finally have privacy. But the constant paparazzi presence made it impossible to move in. Photographers followed them everywhere, and even inside the university, they weren't safe. Classmates, instead of treating them like regular students, saw them as an opportunity. Some secretly took pictures of them in class, while others sold private details to tabloids. Ashley later admitted that the attention was so overwhelming that there were days she couldn't even attend class. For Mary-Kate, the situation was even worse. After just 1 year, she left NYU. Officially, she said she was focusing on business, but rumors swirled that her health struggles played a role. The pressure, the constant scrutiny, and the lack of trust made college unbearable. To make matters worse, even people in their social circles betrayed them. Years later, Spencer Pratt admitted to selling a photo of Mary-Kate drinking at a party for a staggering $50,000. If classmates were willing to profit off her personal life, it was clear that true friends were hard to find. Instead of the fresh start they had hoped for, NYU became yet another place where their privacy was stolen. It wasn't until 2008 that Mary-Kate publicly acknowledged her struggle. She admitted that asking for help was the hardest part, but it was also the most important step in her recovery. Her battle with anorexia was a private pain turned into a public spectacle. But in the end, she found the strength to take control of her health. Ashley's silent battle with Lyme disease. In 2016, Ashley Olsen was diagnosed with late-stage Lyme disease, a condition that can be incredibly painful and exhausting. For years, she had been dealing with extreme fatigue, joint pain, and constant headaches without knowing the cause. Unfortunately, because it was caught so late, her treatment options were limited, making recovery even more difficult. Unlike Mary-Kate's struggles, Ashley chose to keep her battle private. She didn't want the media turning her illness into a spectacle or using it to create dramatic headlines. Instead, she quietly focused on healing, staying out of the public eye as much as possible. Cosmetic surgery complications. Well, over the years, the twins' appearances changed, leading to endless speculation. Some of it was simply natural aging, but health struggles also played a role. In 2016, Ashley reportedly underwent a non-surgical liquid facelift, a procedure meant to lift and refresh the face using fillers instead of surgery. But something went terribly wrong. Instead of a subtle enhancement, she experienced severe swelling, bruising, and even necrosis, which is when skin tissue starts to die. The ordeal was painful, both physically and emotionally. In an industry obsessed with youth and perfection, any change in appearance became headline news. But for Ashley, this wasn't about vanity. It was another personal struggle she had to endure while the world watched and judged. Growing up in the spotlight meant constant media attention, but sometimes the tabloids crossed the line. In fact, in the early 2000s, National Enquirer published a false story implicating Ashley in a scandal. The article spread quickly, damaging her reputation and fueling rumors that had no truth to them. But Ashley refused to stay silent. She fought back with a massive $40 million defamation lawsuit, sending a clear message that she wouldn't tolerate lies. The legal battle ended with the National Enquirer issuing a public apology, admitting they had published false information. However, the damage was already done. This wasn't the only time the twins had to deal with misleading media stories. From wild party rumors to speculation about their health, the tabloids constantly twisted their lives into dramatic headlines. No matter how private they tried to be, the press wouldn't leave them alone. In the 2000s, the twins' public image started to shift. Once seen as the wholesome child stars of Full House, they were now adults, trying to navigate life under an unforgiving spotlight. The media became obsessed with their habits, especially their smoking. Paparazzi photos of the twins holding cigarettes were everywhere, and suddenly, their smoking was treated as a symbol of rebellion. Some saw it as a way for them to cope with the pressures of fame, while others used it to fuel the idea that they were reckless party girls. Any public appearance they made was scrutinized. If they looked too thin, the tabloids assumed they had eating disorders. If they seemed tired, rumors of drug use spread. If they attended an event, they were accused of partying too much. The truth was, the twins were just trying to live their lives, but the world had already decided what story it wanted to tell. No matter how much success they achieved, the media couldn't stop focusing on their personal struggles, proving that fame came with a price they never asked to pay. Personal struggles and relationships. Mary-Kate Olsen's personal life has always fascinated the public, but few stories have sparked as much speculation as her rumored relationship with actor Heath Ledger. Were they just close friends, or was there something more? While neither of them ever confirmed a romance, their deep bond was undeniable. When Heath tragically passed away in 2008 from an accidental overdose, reports surfaced that Mary-Kate was one of the first people contacted. But why? Some even claimed she tried to send private security to the scene before authorities arrived. Did she know more than she let on? Or was the media twisting the narrative yet again? Years later, Mary-Kate found love again, this time with French banker Olivier Sarkozy, the half-brother of former French President Nicolas Sarkozy. Their relationship raised eyebrows due to their 17-year age gap, but they didn't seem to care. Were they truly in love, or was it a relationship doomed from the start? Well, their differences became more obvious over time. Olivier was reportedly more traditional, while Mary-Kate valued her independence and career. But when the COVID-19 pandemic forced them into lockdown together, things spiraled. Could they have worked through their issues, or was the split inevitable? In 2020, Mary-Kate filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. The drama intensified when Olivier allegedly tried to evict her from their shared apartment, leading to a bitter legal battle. Through all their ups and downs, one person who always stood by Mary-Kate and Ashley was Bob Saget, their Full House co-star. But was he just their on-screen dad, or something more? Bob openly expressed his love for the twins, often defending their choices and respecting their need for privacy. Even after Full House ended, he remained a mentor and close friend. But how deep was their connection behind the scenes? When Bob unexpectedly passed away in January 2022, Mary-Kate and Ashley were devastated. They released a heartfelt statement, calling him the most loving, compassionate, and generous man. Losing him was like losing a real father figure. But did they ever get the chance to say a proper goodbye? Despite stepping away from Hollywood, the twins have carried Bob's lessons with them about love, kindness, and staying true to themselves. Do you think his influence played a role in their decision to leave the spotlight? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. The transition to privacy. However, fame was never something Mary-Kate and Ashley actively chased. Even during their peak as child stars, they struggled with the pressure of always being in the public eye. But when they finally stepped away from acting, was it an escape or a natural evolution? Unlike other former child stars who transition into different entertainment roles, the twins made a conscious decision to fade into the background. They rarely give interviews, avoid social media, and live extremely private lives. But why did they choose this path? Was it the years of media scrutiny, the false narratives, or simply a desire to live life on their own terms? Despite their absence from Hollywood, their influence remains strong. The Olsen twins in fashion and business challenges. After stepping away from Hollywood, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen didn't just disappear. They reinvented themselves. But was it an easy transition? Not at all. The twins faced intense challenges, especially when building their now iconic fashion empire. In 2006, they launched The Row, a high-end fashion brand known for its minimalistic yet luxurious designs. Unlike many celebrity brands that rely on name recognition, the twins took a different approach. They stayed behind the scenes, letting the quality of their work speak for itself. But did the world take them seriously? In the beginning, many doubted their ability to succeed in the competitive fashion world, but over time, The Row proved its worth, earning praise from fashion critics and A-list celebrities. The brand became a symbol of quiet luxury, and its success cemented Mary-Kate and Ashley as serious businesswomen. But just when it seemed like everything was going smoothly, controversy struck. In 2015, a lawsuit was filed against their company by a group of unpaid interns who claimed they were overworked and underpaid. The accusations painted a troubling picture. Some interns reported working 50-hour weeks without pay, performing tasks that went far beyond their job descriptions. Was this just another case of exploitation in the fashion industry? Or had the twins lost control of their brand's management? The case was eventually settled for $140,000. But did it damage their reputation? Some argued that it exposed the harsh realities of the fashion world, while others believed it was a learning experience for the Olsen twins. Did it change how they ran their business? It's hard to say, but The Row continued to thrive despite the scandal. Their fashion empire continues to shape industry trends, and their name still carries weight in pop culture. But do they miss acting? They've never directly answered that question, but their actions speak louder than words. They turned down offers to return for Fuller House, showing that they've fully closed that chapter of their lives. Through all the challenges, scandals, and reinventions, one thing is clear: the Olsen twins are survivors. They've faced immense pressure, heartbreak, and public scrutiny. Yet they've carved out a life that makes sense to them. The question remains: could they ever return to the spotlight, or is their quiet world the real dream they've been chasing all along? In the end, we can say that Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen were never just child stars. They were a cultural phenomenon. From their early days on Full House to become the faces of a billion-dollar empire, their lives were anything but normal. Their journey was one of incredible success, but it came with a heavy price. They lost their childhood to Hollywood. Their personal struggles played out in the tabloids, and every decision they made was dissected by the world. Could they have ever lived a normal life? Maybe not. Yet, against all odds, they found a way to reclaim their lives. They walked away from the spotlight, built a fashion empire, and rewrote their own story. Instead of chasing fame, they chose privacy. Instead of being controlled by the industry, they took control of their own narrative. Still, one question remains: can they ever truly disappear? The world has watched them grow up, fall apart, and rise again. Their names still spark curiosity, and their legacy lingers in pop culture. Even in their silence, the world still talks about them. So, were they victims of fame or survivors of it? Maybe both. But one thing is clear. In a world that made them stars, they chose to disappear. And no matter how private they try to be, the world still watches. Do you think they found peace? Or is fame something you can never really run from? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love deep dives into Hollywood's most fascinating stories, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's so much more to uncover.